Welcome to week 5. And we are now getting to the home stretch. You should be in final preparations for your grand opening. At this point, if you've made the best list that you could have, and if you have been sending invitations out and making phone calls, it's really important that you never get discouraged by the rejection, because as we're reaching out, we're casting our net out to a lot of people, all your success is going to come from a few small group of people. Remember, this is all about quality, not quantity. Today, in summary, we're going to talk about 3 things. Is it always 3 things? I think so. Bite-sized, doable, duplicatable. Number 1, making your RSVP phone calls. Number 2, grand opening event preparation. And number 3, how to manage your business's success. Let's start with RSVP phone calls. I've got a script. Comes from ye old trusty manual, as you can see right here. You have it also spread littered all over the training website. You can just click on week 5 and click ahead on the pages and you'll see it. Here's how the script goes. Stephen, how are you doing today?
Awesome.
Great. Listen, I just want to call and remind you about the grand opening coming up next Wednesday. You still plan on coming?
Ooh.
Stephen, for me, it's really important that you're actually there. I really want your support. Can I count on you?
Yeah, I totally forgot, but I'll rearrange some things.
Let me just kind of share with you why I'm doing this. I would appreciate it if you would rearrange. Let me just share with you why I'm doing this. You know, my wife and I have been passionate for some time about providing a cure for autism. And it's something that we're working on. And this business I'm doing is giving me the financial means to make that dream come true and change a lot of lives. When I call you up and I invite you to this, it's because I really want you to be there. I want you to be part of something that's big that's happening in my life. So if you can rearrange your schedule to be there, that would mean the world to me.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Awesome. Well, listen, there's nothing that means more to me right now than your support, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Do you think Ann's going to be able to come as well?
Yeah, we'll make sure she's there too.
That means a lot to me. I want you to know I still got your gift. It's bought and paid for. I've got it there for you, so when you actually come, I'll make sure I get that to you. I think it's something that you're going to enjoy. And above all, thanks for committing to be there and support me.
No problem.
All right, Stephen, appreciate it. Well, Stephen threw us a little bit of a curveball. I'm glad he did. We just did a little bit of objection overcoming and training. Know that if you ever get a curveball, intensity, purpose, and passion, and knowing what your why is, that's your way out of that situation. So practice this with a few people, and then go ahead and jump started. Get those RSVP calls made. Calling your RSVPs will double your attendance, will double the show up rate. So it's important that you know that. Now, there are some action steps for what we're going to do. I want to get you prepared with understanding what is your grand opening going to look like? What's it going to feel like? What's it going to be like? I want to kind of walk you through the agenda. You can see the agenda that we recommend in here. Let's say that you invite people to come at 6:30 for the first 30 minutes. This is just greeting people, mingling, socializing. You've got some music on in the background. If it's a private event, maybe you have some refreshments. At 7 o'clock, the MC will step forward. You and your leader will figure out who that is. They're going to welcome everybody out. They're going to acknowledge you, that this is your grand opening. They're going to explain that there's going to be a presentation, a ribbon cutting ceremony, and that there's going to be some Q&A, and let everyone know that there's going to be a free gift after the presentation. And then they're going to introduce the presenter. 7:05, and then for the next 45 minutes, there will be a presentation on Strongbrook, the real estate program. There will be multiple calls to actions for people to get a free game plan if they would like one. But this is a really positive event because nothing is being sold. People aren't asked to do anything. It's just, hey, if you want some free information, we'll provide that for you. Chance to learn more. At 7:50 to 8 o'clock, there's the ribbon cutting. That's where we're going to invite you to the front of the room. We're going to spread out the ribbon. We're going to give you a pair of scissors. And we're going to ask you to just take a minute and just share, why are you doing this business? What are the dreams? How do you hope this will affect your future? Afterwards, we will cut the ribbon, and then we're going to go into some Q&A. Gives the audience a chance to ask some questions and solidify whether or not they really want that game plan for some of them. Afterwards, you could have an optional meeting for those that want to learn more about the referral program. Sometimes that's the best way to keep people a little long that enjoyed the meeting, to learn more about how that side of the business works. Afterwards, there's just some socializing, giving people their gift, and that's the end of the event. It's super positive. And those game plan requests, in our industry, those are worth gold. You don't have to generate very many of those for those to produce these professional service agreement sales. And those of course pay some really huge commissions, but more importantly, it also indicates if they're interested in an income game plan. And you now know This is a very powerful income play. Now, here's some of the things that you're going to need for your grand opening. I'm going to put this list up on the screen. Number one, game plan request cards. Those are found in the library of your back office or on the trainer site in the toolbox. Put them on the seat before the meeting begins. Why do you do that? So that the presenter can reference them multiple times and they can fill them out during the presentation if they're inspired to. You're going to need some scissors to cut the ribbon with if you do a ribbon cutting ceremony. Then some ribbon. It's good. I recommend getting some name tags and permanent markers. And when people come into the meeting, there's going to be a check-in desk, and go ahead and actually have them register. If they're on the RSVP, you already know they're there. Give them a name tag. That way everyone else can know each other's names. You're going to need a projector and screen and a laptop that has the most recent downloaded version of the presentation, also found in the library of your back office or on the training site. You need a remote control to remotely change the slides on the PowerPoint. If you're doing music and there's a testimonial video in there, you're going to need some speakers, and then you're going to need some music. Before and after the event, choose music that is appropriate for your audience, and choose music that is neither too loud nor too soft. That'll help keep a really great energy. You'll want to have some pens for people that want to fill out the game plan cards. And then you'll want a sign-in sheet. At the back of this document, also in the library, you have your sign-in sheets. That's a way for you just to know if a guest came from somebody else, who that was. It's a way for you to just know who actually ended up coming. Basic refreshments, a check-in desk, printed IBD enrollment forms. There might be someone ready to start the business, and we make those forms available to you so they can fill those out and actually get started in the business. You'll want your books, which is the gift. Information to hand out for any upcoming 6 to 12 month income referral program meetings. Okay, we have meetings where we just talk about the referral program. If there's one coming up, make sure they know about it. And then I would only put out 60% of the chairs that you think are going to come, and just pull them out at the end as you need them. If you want to know how to really ideally set up a room, we've got a document here. I'm going to flash this up on the screen. You can see that there's an aisle in the middle for the speaker to walk up and down to connect with the audience. There's a presentation area. You notice that outside the room there's a registration table for sign up and pens and name tags, and that the game plan requests are already sitting on every seat. There's some music in the room. Very basic setup. That's a setup that works really, really well for people. Now this is important. Only half of the people are going to show up that say they are. That's just the average number. Know it right now. Don't be disappointed. Life's busy. We're in the information age. People have things going on. Remember, I'm just going to let you know what we're going to talk about next week. You're only going to do one grand opening, but you are going to have a couple of follow-up encore events, because you're going to have people that will say, oh, I just can't come that night. I can't come that morning. Let me know if there's another one. And so you can have some follow-up meetings. It's okay if some people don't come. Now, that's everything you need to know about prepping. Here's the last thing we're going to cover today. How do you actually measure your success? How do you know if you are achieving in this business? I want to give you some technical language. You can watch this again if I go a little bit fast on it. I want to help you understand how to track your business's success. We track our business with something called CV. It stands for commissionable volume. When something is purchased, it produces commissionable volume. Since we have to pay out for different things within the company, the entire sale is not commissionable, just a part of it. So for example, on an unlimited PSA that's $16,000, $10,000 of that, roughly 60%, is commissionable. On the $8,000 sale, $5,000 of it is commissionable. And on the $5,500, $3,200 of that is commissionable. The reason why that's important is because there's two types of commission volume. There's a personal commission volume, and then there is an organizational commission volume. Remember, if you build a team, there's things you'll do personally, and then there's what your team does. So there's OCV, organizational volume, commission volume, or it's PCV, personal commission volume. Now let me define these very specifically. Your PCV, personal commissionable volume, is created through sales you make to your personally enrolled customers, non-IBDs, as well as any sales you choose to make yourself. Your PCV does not include sales made to any IBDs you enroll, or purchases made by those IBDs or other IBDs in your sales organization. That's what falls under the purview of OCV, organization commission volume. And that is That's produced through sales completed by all IBDs in your entire sales organization, regardless of team or rank. For rank qualification purposes, OCV includes as well your personal commission volume, so PCV. Okay, so your OCV also includes what you personally do, but what you personally do does not include what your team does. Makes pretty good sense, right? I'm just going to actually put a little chart up here on the screen, and let's actually go through this a little bit, because if you will read across the top, notice that the ranks are listed. Row 1 and 2 reference your PCV and OCV. Your rank that you get paid is called your paid as rank, and your paid as rank is determined either by PCV or OCV achievement. Your rank defines how many levels you get paid on. Remember when I told you earlier that we were going to tell you that you get paid, your depth gets paid on just how much volume you do? Well, we're talking about that right now. You can ultimately get paid on infinite levels through the sales manager bonus, which is an extra 2% that can keep on going long, beyond what you can see on this chart. Now, for example, if your grand opening has one person who purchases an elite PSA, that's 10,000 CV, commissionable volume. And then let's say you have another person who purchases an essentials PSA, that's 3,200 CV. Then you would have a total of 13,200 OCV. Because these are your personal sales, notice on line 2 that you would promote to senior IBD and you'd qualify to get paid on 4 levels, even though your sales just happened on your first level. Okay? So you're already getting qualified out the gate to get paid deeper than you've even earned. Now, let's assume that you have an IBD who joins your team whose prospect purchases an empowerment PSA. That would add 4,800 to your current OCV of 13,200 for a total OCV of 18,000. Notice that once you reach 50,000 OCV, you can potentially qualify for the rank of sales supervisor. You get paid on your first 5 levels. The compensation plan includes a 60% rule and a 40% rule at that point. The 60% rule means that up through the rank of executive sales supervisor, a maximum of 60% of your qualifying OCV can come from any one team. What I want you to do is log into your member portal and click on My Back Office, and you're going to be able to see your current PCV and OCV. It'll be right there plastered on these tiles, and it'll do them in the form of a 90-day average. We average our commissionable volume over 90 days because you could do something this month that doesn't reflect till this month. So we average it out over 90 days, and it means that you can get paid more regularly on the business that you do. Now, your goal within your first 6 months is to do $50,000 of organization commission volume. Why? I'll tell you right now, once someone breaks the barrier of 50,000, their business keeps on growing. So we've talked about your goal for doing a grand opening is to make your first several $1,000s. We're helping you, guide you through your first 6 weeks, but for 6 months from now, if you have 50,000 OCV, your team is going to keep perpetuating, it's going to keep growing. So one of the last things that I want to cover then is how should you structure your team based on this information? Well, I recommend that you make sure that you at least recruit 3 people direct to you. Why? Because if you look at the 75 home credits to create the $35,000 home bonus, there's a 40% rule. And it means that no more than 30 of the 75 credits can come from one team. So if you got 30 here and 30 here, that's 60. You'd only need 15 more over here. For that reason, I don't recommend that you go for 3 people. I recommend that you recruit 5 people to you. The people that do that spread it out so much that they usually don't have any breakage. They don't lose any of those home credits, and they can earn that bonus as easy and replicatable as many times as possible. So I recommend that you do that. Friends, we are on the home stretch. Today we had a chance to talk about, I think, some really important things. I'm excited for your grand opening. I'm excited for the results that you are producing in your life with this business. Couple of things. Because you're on the home stretch, make sure you finish rocking out your RSVP phone calls. Make sure that your encore meetings, we're going to start talking about getting it planned. Anyone that doesn't come to your grand opening, don't worry, don't sweat it. It's not like that work has all been lost for nothing. You got your foot in the door. It'll be only easier now to call them, invite them to a second meeting. People normally need to hear an exposure quite a few times before they say yes. The first 6 months is dedicated to building your team, and now you're just going to spend the rest of your business life helping build other people's teams. We're going to talk a little bit more about follow-up and really what you can do to finish taking your your training to the next level, because when we complete these first 6 weeks, the goal is for you to have made a significant achievement. And hopefully you've got faith in the system, faith in the program that it works, and that there's an excitement to say, you know what, Chris, I want to go on to that advanced training, and I'm going to follow those steps too. Keep your integrity, do the things that you say you're going to do, and I wish you the best of luck from this point on. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. We're going to be covering everything that happens after your grand opening.